I do remember reading the script, and I remember liking the storyline the best, David and Callie, and and I just remember, you know, not having read anything like it. It was very subtle, and it was very like, you know, a lot of writing is like in your face, like right over the top. Everything is explained. It's told you how to feel. You're told how to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the dinosaurs coming, like the buildings, you know, or whatever. And this was just very subtle. It was very eloquent. There was a great dance to what was between the lines, you know, and I liked that about it. And then so, you know, and I called my manager. My manager was like, "Yeah, people, like, actors are really responding to this thing." You know, I wasn't alone. And so then I wasn't alone. And then I went and auditioned. I don't remember much of the audition, to be honest with you. I remember it just being very back and forth, you know, very moment to moment. You know, the lines just lend themselves to that kind of. There's no, you know, breathing and staring, like bum bum bum, like, you know, like you were saying, melodrama or mustache twirling or anything. It's really just you put these lines, you know, you just say it to the person and see what they say back to you. And I remember the audition being like that, and I remember enjoying that because so few auditions are that, you know, just laid back and cool, you know. And then I went to go work on something in Arizona, and I got a call in Arizona saying that you guys pulled the trigger on me. And then yeah, then we came back and we shot the thing. It was cool. Is that what you remember? That's what I remember.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I remember.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I liked it because it was like a play, you know. It was like a, you know, it was choreographed in the sense that, you know, with movies, like with these little scenes, it's so much of these little sprints. You know, you stand up and then you say you're back and you say, you know, are we gonna rob the bank? Yeah, we'll get in the van and okay, ready, cut, and then we go and we sit around for 6 hours while they shoot something else, and then you know, it's these little sprints. You know, where with this, it was like we really, each one was that long. Each time we rehearsed this kind of jog. You know, this long kind of, you know, mile run, you know, and it was just this, and each time we rehearsed it, so we would read it like that, you know, and then when we got on our feet, you know, you were just as, this camera was just as much of a character almost within this kind of dance, and so so I remember, you know, I remember it just being very, very fulfilling in that sense that, you know, it wasn't like, you know, with other movies, you know, you just don't get the fulfillment of living the life. You know, you almost have to do it vicariously after you watch the thing. You know what I mean? You're almost like, oh wow, that was like a whole person there. You know what I mean? Like, but with this, you really got to live David, and we really got to find those awkward moments where, you know, David's not getting what he wants, or is getting what he wants and doesn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? And those wonderful little things. So I liked that aspect a lot. And then, yeah. And I think with the words, then that adds to that metric, that feeling of the music. You know, if you're just up there saying whatever comes to mind, then it's more of just like Pollock, you know, or something. It's more like, it's more of just a. But if you do know the words in your heart, inside and out, then that adds to the music of the whole process, I think.
Yeah.
Because then it is a rehearsed piece. It is like a. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Never, no. Unless I was on stage, but I haven't been on stage in forever either, so, which I miss. But that's where you get to do it. You get to do something like that on stage. But the difference is, on stage, is there's all these, you know, there's these just natural punctuation rules about, you know, you have to turn out to make sure that everybody can hear you, and there's all this kind of, there's just this stage ethic kind of that happens, which doesn't always have to be there, but often is, and you know, the light's over here, you know, and crap like that, and but with this kind of thing, you get to do that long marathon, but it's also right here, you know, there's no ethic, there's no like rules really, and so that gives you the chance to really forget about the camera and really forget about, you know, Laura crouched under the desk over there, and really forget about everything, you know, that's just you and the other actor, and it's just, there's nothing else in the world. I mean, it's really just right here, you know, and that is, and then to be able to get to do that for 10 minutes, you know, is really, really, you know, rewarding. I mean, we really get to step out of our own lives for a split second and step into this world, and into another person, and that's just thrilling, you know, and I think that's why I do it, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's, you think about it at first, but the more we rehearsed it, the more it was just there, you know. The more it wasn't the first time, you know, might have been like, but the more, you know, the more we rehearsed, it was just another part. It was just another part of the dance. It was just something else that was there, and you knew it was going to be there. And the more I knew it was going to be there, the more I didn't have to think about it. And the more I knew you were going to be crossing behind me and coming over here, the more I didn't have to think about it, and the more we could just. That, if there was rules, those were the, you know, if there were rules involved, it was that type of thing, you know. It was that it was rehearsed, that there were kind of marks and there were kind of points that we wanted to get to, you know, as I remember, jockey to throughout the scene,
Yeah.
and knowing that you would be here or wherever. So that was, you know, but that was fine. I mean, that was so easy to get over, you know. I do remember. I remember a couple times when I was like, I'd have to sit and I'd have to make sure I was saying it right, especially something like that, which is maybe, what is it again? Maybe you didn't. Maybe I didn't say it the way you heard it.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm not sure.
If how you heard it is the way I said it,
Or vice. Yes,
something
yes.
like that.
Oh, I told it. Maybe I'm not sure if how I said it is how you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember things like that. You know, those are probably. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember what I was. But I love that's. I mean, those. That's just an example of those great lines you get to say. You know, in Room 314. You know, you get to say those fun things, and you know, don't hurt me, and then like scare. You know, like that's what life's about. You know, like
That
jumping out.
Everybody in the audience is always like, ah.
You know, and Rolfing and talking about that, and just, you know, and you know, her tearing out of the room, you know, because of what did she tear? Why did she leave? We were having such a great time, you know, and having to talk to my mom, and you know, it was just great, you know, and then her coming back, and then, you know, I don't know, it's just that being able to do those little things, it's fun. It's rare you get to play those nice little life moments, you know. No, Jennifer was great, man. Jennifer was really cool, you know, and you know, we were all, you know, it's a crazy scene, you know, that we have to do, and it was just great getting to know her throughout the whole process, you know, and she was just laid back and really cool and really chill about, you know, about what we had to do. I mean, it was, you know, it takes kind of a wink and a handshake and kind of a good, you know, a good look in the eye and a good, some good trust, you know what I'm saying, to all of us to go there at the end and say, you know, this is cool, you know what I mean, like, this is gonna be all right, this is right, what we're doing, you know what I mean, and making, and this is gonna help people, I think, you know what I mean, and so that was, you know what I'm saying, does that make sense?
Yeah,
It was very good in that regard. She was an absolute pro, you know, everybody was, you were, and Laura was, and everybody was, you know, so it was cool, and you know, of course, cracking open a bottle of wine every single time we shot it, and sucking it down, and then cracking open another bottle of wine, and sucking that down. I mean, that makes things easier.
You mean every other movie doesn't actually drink alcohol when you're working?
No, I mean, I don't know how many we put back that night. By God, no, not every other movie does. Do you want to know? No. Maybe it's better if nobody knows. You know what I mean? Maybe it's better. I don't know if
it's better if nobody knows.
Yeah.
They can guess for themselves. You know?
Yeah. No, we did not have sex. You can put it in there however you want, but on the line however you want. But no, we did not. You know, I don't know. The whole thing was constantly surprising. You know what I mean? It's rare that you work with. I find, I don't know, that, you know, work with people that care so much, you know. It's rare that, you know, people care so much for the words and for the moments, and the actors are so invested, and it's, you know, the black cloud of the business of it can be really distracting sometimes on stuff, I feel like, and you know, it was just nice to be working on something that we all like, believed in. And because of that, the whole process was surprising. There was always surprising moments happening, I thought, like little things that, what do they say, that the script is like, or words are so much of a story, maybe a third, if that, and that when they actually come out and how they come out is a whole other thing. So you read the script and you see that there's, these lines and this relationship there, but it's not ever actually there until it's there, I feel like, and then so the whole process is constantly surprising, and because it's such a dance between David getting, this how their relationship has changed and how David is dealing with that, and how she's dealing with that, and that it can just be so that whole thing is very I never knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean, ever, really. You know what I mean? And especially then, of course, the last scene, I don't think either of us knew how that was going to turn out or what was going to play out, and I never didn't know what it was going to look like. I was like, oh my gosh, and yeah, the whole thing was surprising. And then how well it's been received has just been great. People just really been really cool. I thought it was great. It's such a fly on the wall thing, and it's rare that you get to do that kind of stuff, and so it's hard for me to ever know, like, if it's good or bad, or I don't, you know what I mean, but I just there's always that part of you that watches and you're like, oh, that was cold that day, I remember, because then we had to pull down the curtains because it was light. We had to there's that little part of you that can't always, at least me, that is reticent to let go and just watch it. So but seeing it that night, that was great. It was great, and people seemed to respond well to it, and that was fantastic. And yeah, I thought it did come out great. I thought you guys did a heck of a job with it, with the whole thing, with all the stories, and with all the the little wonderful little idiosyncrasies of everybody, and all those wonderful little awkward moments that happen, in all these relationships and in everybody's lives. And that's what it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch the moments between the lines, and it's fun to watch the moment within the, it's just, that's what but there's something to be said about just an actor can get lazy, and go in and say whatever they want, which I do all the time, and I always end up an or a at the end of the line, or something, and it changes things, like it's not Mike, it's David, and David talks like this, and Mike might say it a different way, but it's not Mike, it's David, and so that's important, and when you focus on the lines so much, and study them and get them so that they're completely, then you can totally not think, because I'm not thinking about I am thinking about what I'm saying right now, but but then you could just look the other person in the eye and try to communicate with them, and not have to think about the lines, or because that's always distracting. That's always not what we do in life, and it just adds a level of realism to it, and it also just opens up the door where you can just completely be emotionally connected and with the person, and you don't have to think about all that little minutia of what's my next line. I mean, that's the worst thing to be thinking ever, I feel like, is to be thinking what's my next line, So I think it's definitely good, and I've heard other, Mamet is like that, and I feel like, and I've heard people, they get a little, like, actors get a little defensive at first about it, but I think that ultimately it just opens up a whole another world where you don't have to think about all that crap, So it's definitely a positive way of working. I totally advocate it. You know what? I think that Callie really wanted to be together, and I think David was like, pfft. I think David went and bought a motorcycle, and I think he shaved his head and started learning to play bass guitar, and I don't know, man. I think David and Callie if they are, I don't know how healthy it is for David. Um, you know, if they are, I don't know how excited Callie probably is. If she is with him, it's probably because something fell through or something. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know if they're together. I mean, they could very well. They could very well be, and they could be very well having, you know, nice moments still today.
That's good.
I've had a couple people say,
Really?
yeah. I've had friends of mine that went to go see it, or when you guys were in Iowa, I told some people to go see it, and you know, I never tell them about the end, you know, and just, you know, let them see it, you know, let them go hold on a little bit and see, like, oh, you know, should we be here, you know, which is the great thing about that, you know, is there's that kind of, oh, you know, I feel like people are a little like nervous, like they feel bad almost that they're watching that, you know what I mean? So I've had people, you know, kind of, but they ultimately, everybody really likes it, you know, and it's not something that they think about or focus on, you know, they really enjoy the piece, and they really enjoy, you know, they kind of furrow their brow and nod their head a little bit, and they're like, yeah, you know, that was some good stuff you guys did out there. So I have had a couple people, you know, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very, very proud of it. And my manager uses it to like try to get me gigs, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm very proud of it. Very, very proud of it.